Alright, that's our hydroponics lab, and let's go in there and check it out. The light situation in here is totally normal because we use artificial lights to grow our plants. The reason is that we want to grow vertical, so in several layers. At the top layer we have our big plants ready to be harvested, and at the bottom layer we have our nursery where our small plants are growing. Why are we doing this? Because we want to go vertical to maximize the space used indoors. Because indoors we are first of all not exposed to the elements. We are right in the city, so we produce where the demand is, so there's no transport or emissions in between. And also we are in winter, so we have limited sunlight. By using the artificial lights we are basically able to stretch the daylight, and thereby we can produce in winter as well and have no need for import from the global south. Also inside we don't need to use any or very little pesticides because we're not so much exposed to pests from the outside. Why we're doing the nursery here? The reason is this pipe is smaller than the big pipe up here. The reason is that small plants have little roots, as you can see, or even no roots, and they will have difficulties to reach the water running at the bottom of the pipe. The water is running at the bottom of the pipe to ensure that the plant is growing a certain portion of the pipe through thin air, because the plant always needs air, water and nutrient at its roots. As soon as the plants are bigger, they can get up here, and you can see we have 3D printed net cups, which are basically flexible based on the material, which is TPU, and thereby the net cup can grow and allow the plant for more space once it's growing bigger. We always try to encourage a maximum of roots that the plant can consume enough nutrients, because the nutrients are down here in our tanks. So for each pipe, we have 3 pipes on here. We have an individual tank where we have an individual concentration of nutrients and so on, adjusted to the growth level of the plants, and also to run some experiments. We're not just growing beautiful red Swiss chard, we're also running lettuce, even some parsley over here, or some red and green basil over here. The water is always fed from the bottom of the tank here with a little pump into this little connector piece here, which is also 3D printed, and then running through the pipe till the other end, dropping down below, going back into the tank. Why we're using so many 3D printed parts? Reason being is we want to make sure that this system can be replicated anywhere in the world, no matter which access to materials you have. So this bracket is 3D printed, this little bracket for the light is 3D printed, as well as those net cups. And for example, very latest development, basically growing medium instead of this rock wool material. We want to use this because we can use this many times, while the rock wool is only one-time use. If you're interested in how the technical system is working, make sure to follow us, for example, on Instagram here or on LinkedIn, to get all the next videos where we go into the technical details of our vertical hydroponic farm in the city.